All right, here goes. Here goes nothing. Welcome everyone to NoDQ Live. Better late than never. About 40 minutes behind schedule because YouTube decided to crash. And the entire internet freaked out, and I felt like Western civilization was on the verge of absolute collapse. But fortunately, YouTube is back so we can all go on with our lives. Thankfully, I'm here now. We could talk about SmackDown 1000. I really hope that the live stream holds up. Time will tell. Let's go ahead and get started with the review. By the way, YouTube, I hope Freddy Krueger haunts your dreams tonight. The people in charge of YouTube, just saying. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the show. SmackDown 1000 opened up with a video package showing all of the great moments of SmackDown throughout the years. I am happy that WWE showed the Big Boss Man Big Show funeral segment from 1999. I was very satisfied that we got to see that. To me, that was an all-time classic SmackDown moment. Yes, I will be discussing spoilers. I know some of you did not get a chance to watch all of SmackDown because I know some of you out there watch YouTube TV, you watch SmackDown through YouTube, and you might have missed part of the show. You can always go back and watch this video at a later time. But for those of you that want to watch live, thank you for tuning in. Daryl Lloyd with a $2.79 super chat donation, first one of the night. Thank you, Daryl. This show was shit, and he did use the shit word, so I am going to use it as well. I don't care. YouTube, you guys dropped the ball tonight, so I might drop an S-bomb here or there. We'll have to wait and see. A lot of people seem to be disappointed with this show. How did I feel? Let's go ahead and break down SmackDown 1000. So, there are so many ways you could open up SmackDown 1000. You could have Batista, you could have Edge, you could have The Rock, any number of things. But what do you go with? You go with Truth TV. Now, I like R-Truth and Carmella just as much as all of you. I think they're great. I think the dance break is hilarious. But I would not have opened up your 1000th episode of SmackDown with this. Just my opinion. You had them talking about how the first episode was canceled, but they got a second episode. Alex Pershing with a $2 super chat donation. This show was so crammed it was disappointing. Yeah, that was definitely a criticism that I have of the show. Caitlin mentioned it here a few minutes ago. It felt very rushed. Maybe they should have done a 3-hour show. If there was ever a justification for doing 3 hours, this would have been the week because it's the 1000th show and you're bringing in all these extra people for the show. It definitely felt very rushed, like they were trying to cram in all these things. I mean, I'm skipping ahead here a little bit. What was the point of bringing in the former GMs to literally have them on screen for like 5 seconds? You had Vicky Guerrero, you had Teddy Long, you had John Laurinaitis along with Paige, and literally it was like 5 seconds, and then they cut away and we never saw them again. Why even bring them in the first place? Caitlin with a $2 super chat donation. Dance break. I agree. The dance break was awesome. Thank you for that, Caitlin. We had their guest introduced, which was Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie came out. I had to hear her music, so that's automatically a lower grade for SmackDown Live whenever I have to hear Stephanie's music. That and Brie Mode, automatic point down when it comes to the letter grade for the show. We had Stephanie come out, and then they were about to ask Stephanie a question, and that led to Shane McMahon coming out. Shane making his big return after being gone for a while. As you guys remember, he had surgery, hernia surgery, and he was just pretty banged up. I think his last appearance was the Greatest Royal Rumble. Noah Foster with a $2 super chat donation. Thank you, Noah. No comment. Hamp Connell with a $2 super chat donation. Was Evolution ever once on SmackDown? Great question. They might have been, but I don't remember. Interstate Kyle, is the beard making a comeback? No, I've just been out of town for a week and I got lazy when it came to shaving. But now that I'm back in town, I will be clean shaven soon enough. But anyways, Shane came out and he started pandering to the crowd, and Stephanie's like, oh, that's so cheap, you know, the cheap pop, yada, yada, yada. This guy with a $2 super chat donation, he says, my hernia is hurting now. Ouch. Sorry to hear that. I mean, it's really painful to live with a hernia. Just listen to that Weird Al song and you know what I'm talking about. We had a third McMahon come out, and it was Vince. Yes, Vince McMahon, of course, had to make an appearance on this show. He came out, he got in the ring, and he did the dance break, and that was the segment. So, yeah, basically an excuse to get the McMahons on SmackDown Live. Whatever. I mean, I'm like, The whole segment to me was just, You guys did that at Raw 25 with Vince, Shane, Stephanie, the whole 9 yards, and I felt it was unnecessary. I don't think Vince and Shane and Stephanie needed to be on the show. Maybe Shane, but definitely not Stephanie. Yeah, she was the initial GM, but I could have done without them personally. So we had our first match of the evening, which was Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles versus the Usos. Now, when I saw this match taking place, and by the way, I had to watch the first 30 minutes of SmackDown in my car on Sling TV because I was a complete idiot getting home from LA. I got on the wrong shuttle to get to the parking lot where my car was. I lost about 20 minutes and I missed the beginning of SmackDown. If I had not been such a bonehead, I would have gotten home just in the nick of time, but oh well. I watched it on the way home. I did see the Usos versus AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. I was pleasantly surprised that the Usos won. I thought they were just going to job out here. AJ and Bryan would get a win heading into the pay-per-view. But we already saw the split with these guys. WWE just did the angle. There was the dissension. Well, you know, just the communication problem between AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, the accident. Bryan accidentally hits AJ Styles. Styles is all shooken up. Bryan tries to help him. And then we have AJ pushing Bryan. One of the Usos comes in with the super kick, but Bryan ducks and AJ gets hit. And then Bryan got hit with dueling super kicks and Bryan was pinned. So there you go. The Usos actually picked up the victory over the WWE Champion. Caitlin says, doesn't sound too safe, Aaron, LOL. I'm actually really good about not being distracted by the phone, so I can focus on the road and glance and mostly hear and be able to get by with watching it. And mostly focus on just glancing over every now and then, and I can get an idea of what's happening. I'm really good about it, believe it or not. Chris Mace with a $2 super chat donation. Not that I would recommend anybody does that, by the way. Don't try to watch something and drive at the same time. I shouldn't be doing it, but yeah, I did, so whatever. Don't do it, though. Chris Mace with the $2 super chat donation. Thank God the show started. YouTube was being a pain. Yeah, YouTube just pissed me off tonight, but you know what? We're still here. We're doing this. So far, the live stream's working well, so I'll forgive YouTube. It's kind of weird. Of all the nights to do this, why not do it during one of the crappy Raws so I can just not even bother? But, you know, this was a big edition of SmackDown, and, you know, I wanted to be able to do the live stream right away. But, you know, better late than never, as I said. This guy says, I watch the NoDQ videos while driving. You shouldn't really do that. I know people will mostly just listen, but you should not really do anything other than listen to music and drive at the same time. Just my opinion. I mean, people get distracted just changing the volume on their phone or whatever, or on the radio. So, I mean, people can get distracted in a lot of different ways. The key is you don't want any unnecessary distraction. So, 99% of the time, I'm not messing around while I'm driving. It was just this particular time, I had to make sure I watched it, so I managed to get it going. And Caitlin says, voice texting guilty. Yeah, I tried that the other night, and it did not go over so well. It was just not working out. So I don't even bother. I just try to not text at all while I'm driving. I mean, people do the voice thing now and whatever, but you should just not be distracted. It can wait, as those PSAs tell you. Big G is here with a $2 super chat donation. Big G is here, he says. And I guess I'm cutting into the time of Virtue and Big G. I apologize to that, guys. I don't know what their plans are for that. Usually they go on at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, but I kind of messed that up for them. So my apologies, guys. All right, so let's move on here. I did mention the general managers. Literally, if you blinked, you missed it. And there were quite a few moments like this on the show. We had Evolution come out. This was probably the best segment on the show, at least for me personally. I think a lot of you would agree with me on this. We had Batista coming out, looking like he was really happy to be back. Randy Orton, Ric Flair, same thing with Ric Flair, and Triple H. All of them cut their little promos. Randy Orton started bragging about himself and saying while Batista was in the acting chair, he was making history on SmackDown and yada, yada, yada. Big G with a $2 super chat donation. I was at SmackDown 1000 Virtue's Rage tomorrow night. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Big G was at SmackDown Live. You know what, Big G? Maybe when I'm done with this, if you want to call in, I can set up Skype. We can get you to talk about the live experience, if you're up for doing that, of course. I totally forgot. Big G was in the house for SmackDown 1000. So, yeah, maybe we can get Big G's thoughts, maybe from the live perspective, how he felt about the show. He says will do. So, yeah, I'll see about getting Big G on here in just a minute. Let me go ahead and finish this review, and then I'll see if we can get him on. Anyways, the main focus of this segment was Batista. Batista cut this long promo, and it was great. Batista did a really good job. He brought up just the 4 reasons that he was there. The first reason, it was, of course, SmackDown 1000. And the second reason was the fans. And he just wanted to go out there and perform regardless of whether the fans chanted Blue-tista or Boo-tista. You know, he busted his ass, and it was always an honor for him to be out there and performing for everybody. And then he also mentioned Evolution being another reason for him being there. Of course, Triple H, Randy Orton, Ric Flair. He told Ric Flair to keep that thing in his pants. That was a great line. Curtis Butler says Big G was the best thing of the last NoDQ review. Fact. Well, there you go. Big G getting some love from Curtis Butler. And Bryan says Batista and Cutting Edge were the highlights of the night. And Gary says the tease on Triple H was absolute dynamite. So for those of you that have been following along lately, Batista has publicly made it clear he has wanted a match with Triple H. And it looks like we got the seeds planted for that in this segment. Batista praised Triple H but said, the one thing you haven't done is you haven't beat me. And that's when Triple H gave him the look, the Triple H stare. You had the tension between the two of them, and then they hugged, and that was the end of it. But there you go. We had the little tease there. Kayfabe Candy Ass says Ric Flair needs to keep the jet in the hangar. So there you go. I think Ric Flair mentioned SmackDown 1000, and he's used to the number 10,000. So there you go. This segment, Batista, I'm happy to see him back, and I hope he's around more. I definitely want to see more Batista. I still want to see Batista versus Brock Lesnar, quite frankly. I'd rather WWE just do Triple H. You know what? I'm going to Survivor Series, so I changed my mind. Go ahead and do Batista Triple H at WrestleMania. Let's see Batista and Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series if Brock's up for doing another match. Tony H with a $5 super chat donation. He's probably not, by the way. Why is WWE hell-bent on getting Triple H opponents he can't beat a chance at slaying the dragon in 2018 or 2019? It's not needed. Batista wants Triple H. So if that's what Batista wants, then I think Triple H is going to oblige. I sense that's going to be the match for WrestleMania. And ultimately it's going to be, you know, pleasing Triple H and Batista. And if they want to do it one more time, then it's going to happen. But yeah, I kind of get what you're saying here. It feels like Triple H is just coming back and doing, you know, the Legends matches, and it's getting a little tedious. So I definitely see where you're coming from, Tony H. TGS is like, why does he want Triple H so bad? And that's the thing, too. It's like, we've already seen the match a number of times. I'm not really dying to see the match as much as I loved the Hell in a Cell match from 2005. Like I said, I'd rather see Batista against somebody we haven't seen him face yet. Biblical Adrian says, was Christian on the show? No, he was not. No Christian on this show. But there was Edge on this show, which I will get to here in a few moments. So TJS called it. We all talked about what's The Rock going to do? Is he going to actually appear? We all thought probably not. I said maybe The Rock would do a pre-tape promo, and TJS was like, you know what? They're just going to show a tweet of The Rock saying, yeah, congratulations for 1,000 episodes of SmackDown. And sure enough, TJS was correct. That's all there was from The Rock, just showing the tweet of him giving WWE props for 1,000 episodes of SmackDown. So not even a pre-tape, not even via satellite, just a tweet. That was it. Pretty disappointing. Speaking of disappointing, we had literally a match that I think lasted like 30 seconds. This felt like something out of the Attitude Era. I mean, there was like no time for this whatsoever. Extremely rushed. We had The Miz versus Rusev in a World Cup qualifying match. And I'll talk more about that here in a few minutes. We had, who was at ringside? Angle. So Kurt Angle was on commentary, but the match only lasted like 30 seconds. You had Aiden English there at ringside distracting Rusev, and that's when Miz picked up the victory over Rusev with a roll-up. And then we had Lana and Aiden on the outside. Lana gave Aiden English a low blow, and then Rusev beat up Aiden. The post-match beatdown was longer than the actual match. And here we go. Josh Gunter with a $15 super chat donation. Enjoying the insight. Thank you very much for that, Josh. I really do appreciate it. And much love to all you guys out there and gals watching NoDQ Live. Thank you very much. I'm glad you guys were still able to tune in despite the YouTube shutdown, temporary shutdown, whatever it was. The trained monkeys did their job. It took a little while, but they did get it done. So yeah, this was disappointing. They just blew through this so quickly. And Miz didn't even get an entrance, yet he won the match. So yeah, it was very rushed. Felt like they had no time and they just had to get all that stuff out there in a very short period of time. So next up we had the Cutting Edge. Edge, speaking of Edge, you know, his hair has grown out again. So he looks good. Edge is looking good. He came out. And this guy left a $2 super chat donation. I love The Rock, but fuck The Rock because of that tweet. And I just dropped an F-bomb, but again, I don't care tonight. YouTube, you guys screwed up, so I'm just going to be a jerk tonight and use profanity. It is what it is. Hopefully I don't get demonetized, but whatever. I'm over it now. So yeah, Edge introduced... before he introduced Becky Lynch as his guest, he did bring up the history of himself on SmackDown. He brought up Eddie Guerrero. That got a big pop. And then he brought up Vicky Guerrero marrying her, divorcing her. And then Becky came out. Edge said he understood Becky's situation, how she wasn't supposed to be in the main event, and she had to fight her way and bite her way. I think Edge said something like that. But then Edge said that she did, however, make the wrong choice. And the crowd booed this, by the way. They booed Edge when he said she made the wrong choice by cutting ties with her friend Charlotte, burning the bridge. And Edge said the problem was one day she'll be by herself. She'll have all the championships and all that, but she'll be alone with no friends. And she won't even like herself. So this made no sense. this was very contrived. I felt like, okay, Edge retired as a babyface. Everybody loved him. Edge was friends with everybody. It's not like we ever saw Edge retired and alone and depressed. So this absolutely made no sense whatsoever. Edge and Christian are friends, you know? So it doesn't fit at all in the storyline. Doesn't make any sense. If we actually saw somebody who won all the titles, betrayed everybody, and was alone, yeah, maybe it would. But in this case, it did not. So this was not too hot of a segment here. Edge really tried, though. I'll give him credit for the effort. A for effort, but the writing of this, I mean, you know what they say, you can only polish a turd so much, but it's still a turd at the end of the day. Anyways, Becky said that Edge is right. She doesn't love her, or she doesn't like herself. She loves herself. And then she insulted Edge by saying that she hopes he doesn't hurt his neck going out through the ropes. So yeah, Becky Lynch is still a heel. WWE's still trying to get people to boo Becky. I don't get it. Charlotte came out, attacked her, and yeah. Wasn't really a big fan of this segment. I thought it felt pretty flat. And More Faves says, Becky is the reverse Roman. No matter what the WWE tries to do, the crowd will not turn against her. And The Watcher says that was like Stone Cold insulting Jake the Snack. Who's Jake the Snack? Maybe that's going to be a new gimmick in wrestling one of these days. Jake the Snack comes out with all the junk food and throws it around to the kids in the crowd and tries to get them fat. That could be his gimmick. And King Turbonia says, do you think this episode of SmackDown Live should have been 3 hours? This week and this week only, yes. All right, so let's move on here. We had The Bar versus The New Day. The New Day were represented by Big E and Xavier Woods. Hold on a second. Oh, there we go. Daryl Lloyd just left a $14 super chat donation. Crown Jewel is more important? Really? SmackDown 1000 should have been more about moving forward and praising history, but was the other way around. What a joke. So there you go. Daryl Lloyd was not a big fan, and there were some things on this show I definitely did not feel all that much. So we had The Bar versus The New Day, Big E and Xavier. Jerry the King Lawler and Booker T were doing commentary for this. You know, the legends for SmackDown 1000. The Bar, they tore up the pancake table and they were trying to bend all the rules, and, you know, they were brawling on the outside. And that's when the Big Show's music hit. Big Show came out, and it looked like he was going to help the good guys, but it's the Big Show. You guys know how this goes. Yes, Big Show for the 4,562nd time turned heel on this show. Probably just on SmackDown alone. Big Show turns heel. He chokeslams Kofi through the pancake table. And then The Bar end up picking up the victory, winning the tag team titles, which I thought was going to happen at Super Showdown. But WWE saved it for this. And then Big Show raised the hands of The Bar at the end. So looks like we got another 3-person team in WWE. Why not do 6-man tag team championships? I mean, you have all these 3-person factions. I've been saying this for the longest time. Why not do something different and merge some of those other titles, have one world champion, maybe have one women's champion on both shows, and introduce 6-man tag team titles? You might as well. You have all these 3-person teams. It's getting ridiculous now. Ken terminated by Google with a $5 super chat donation. This may be a hyperbole. Big Show's 1000th turn is painful as F. Thank you for using F, by the way, just to censor me. Are you disgusted and think Paul needs to retire circa Mark Henry Hall of Fame? You know what? Maybe Big Show wants one more run. He's healthy. He's ready to do it. So whatever. I mean, if Big Show can still go, then let him go. I mean, at this point, I don't even care. But that's the problem. People don't even care about the Big Show when he's going back and forth over and over again. Bryan with a $2 super chat donation. Batista looks like a snack. and he did the tongue sticking out emoji and the heart emoji. So apparently Bryan has a thing for Batista. I guess he heard it's pretty big. I don't know. Kayfabe Candy Ass says Big Show looked a little big again too. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. This guy says this show should have been called Big Show Turn 1000. Yeah, really. All right, I'm going to get Skype booted up here, and then I'll have Big G call in a second. Let's go ahead and finish this review. King Turbonius, who's your GOAT of SmackDown Live? Well, one could maybe argue Rey Mysterio, and I want to talk about that right now. But before I do, John Cena had a quick selfie video, which I thought maybe The Rock could do. I mean, how difficult would that have been for The Rock to just do like a quick 30-second promo? Where was Taz? John made a good point. It would have been nice to have seen Taz on this show. Daryl Lloyd with another Super Chat donation, $7. I'm surprised Big Show did not take out the bar for a triple turn. That would have been funny. I would have laughed my ass off if Big Show went back to a babyface turn. They should just make a parody out of it at this point. Like every show, Big Show should come out and turn. And that should be Big Show's gimmick, that every week you don't know who he's going to align with. Let that be his final run. Just make a parody of it. Every week Big Show goes out there and turns back and forth every segment. Maybe have him turn like 5 times in one show or something, just for the hell of it. Rift Aronson says, Aaron turned heel when he killed me. Again, Rift Aronson, you're dead. And if you don't leave a Super Chat donation in 1 minute, the moderators have authorization to ban you from the chat room. Permanent ban, by the way. So you got 1 minute to leave me a Super Chat donation. All right. So anyways, we had the main event of the show. Rey Mysterio, well, it wasn't even really the main event. I'll get to that here in a second. We had Rey Mysterio versus Shin, a.k.a. Shinsuke Nakamura. The United States champion, by the way. Rey looked great, of course. This was a fine match. This was a good main event. But unfortunately, the U.S. champion had to job out to Rey Mysterio. And Rey Mysterio is now qualified for the World Cup coming up at Crown Jewel. Okay, we can now ban Rift Aronson, by the way. Kayfabe, do your duty. Do your civic duty as a member of the NoDQ Galaxy. Bye-bye, Rift Aronson, you're banned. And he's gone. All right, so Rey Mysterio won. I feel bad for Shin. I mean, poor guy's the U.S. champion, and he's, you know, losing, and I don't think there's going to be any follow-up to this. I mean, maybe there will be, but yeah, I don't know. I would assume maybe they're going to have a match at some point, but I don't know. This guy with a $2 Super Chat donation. This show was 97% filler and picks from Da Past. You know what? I do like the fact that we heard the Let It Roll song. That song was getting stuck in my head from all the video clips highlighting all of SmackDown's greatest moments. Not going to sing it, though, because I don't want to lose all the viewers. So I thought that was one of the better SmackDown songs, actually. Chris Mace with a $2 Super Chat donation. Rey versus Shin for the U.S. title Survivor Series. Thank you for that, Chris Mace. And yeah, I would be fine with that. I mean, it makes sense to me to do that. I still think the best SmackDown theme song was Beautiful People. But then again, I'm a Marilyn Manson fan, and, you know, I just think it's a kick-ass song, so that's naturally going to be my choice. What the hell was that song at the beginning when they were hyping up the segments for SmackDown? I don't even know what genre of music that is, but it's some kind of trendy club stuff that, like, teenagers listen to. I don't know. But that was, like, the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. The most obnoxious, annoying thing. What the hell was that? Nelson with a $5 Super Chat donation. After the treatment Shin is getting, do you see Omega not coming to WWE a good thing for his career? Well, Omega might still end up in WWE pretty soon. And keep in mind, it's all about the money. And WWE has a lot of money. Saudi Arabia. Kenny Omega looks at WWE and he sees big bucks. Was it Panic at the Disco? I don't think it was. I don't know. I would need to go back and maybe use Shazam or something to figure out what the hell that was. But it was the most obnoxious song I've ever heard in my life. And I really hope that's not the new SmackDown theme, or I am going to completely lose my mind. Daryl with a $7 super chat donation. Pains me to say, but Undertaker is done. Why bring him out? Hashtag filler. This guy with a $2 super chat donation. Referees weren't in old gear and no giant fist, middle finger SmackDown. So yeah, let's talk about that real quick. I still have to talk about Undertaker also. And TJS said Aaron just said the S word. TJS just creams his pants every time I use the S word. All right, so regarding the set, yeah, that was pretty disappointing. No modification to the set. They just had the SmackDown 1000 logo. They used the usual set. How difficult would it have been? I even mentioned this, I think, the other week. Apparently it was Panic at the Disco, so that's quite disappointing because I used to like Panic at the Disco. The album Pretty Odd, I think, is a really good album. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in their recent direction. They're just trying so hard to sound trendy. I like Pretty Odd because it was like a throwback to the Beatles. I mean, it was a pretty cool album, like that Baroque pop style. I like that album. But anyways, we're here to talk about SmackDown 1000, not Panic at the Disco. Again, I don't want to lose all the viewers, so let's go ahead and get back on track here. I think I mentioned this the other week that WWE should have maybe gone to the warehouse. You know, they have all that crap in there, and bring it out of storage for one night. Maybe bring the fist out or something. Even just a couple of props to have there at ringside. They did nothing. How hard would it have been? The company is made of money. They're filthy rich. Maybe they're just filthy at this point, but they got tons of money. And, oh, we got over 300 live viewers tonight, which is quite awesome considering all the YouTube issues tonight. So thank you to everyone out there watching live. We're going to have Big G, who was there in attendance, call in and give his thoughts and give myself a chance to rest my vocal cords. I'm not doing a dance break, though. That's not going to happen. Undertaker came out, and I'm like, okay, you guys got like, what, 3 minutes left? Did I just say 3 minutes? Unfortunately, Umaga is no longer with us, so yeah, that wasn't going to happen. But anyways, we had Undertaker come out. He got in the ring, and he cut a very quick promo. He mentioned Crown Jewel, which got booed by the fans. The fans booed it. And then Undertaker said the same thing he said in the promo with Kane. At Crown Jewel, DX is going to rest in peace. And then he walked off. And that was SmackDown 1000. So there you go. I thought it was a good show, but disappointing. Could definitely have been better. Maybe some segments like the opening segment could have been cut from the show. Maybe it should have been 3 hours so everything didn't feel so rushed. I'm going to give this show a solid B. I think it was a good show, but definitely could have been better. Batista's thing was great, and I did enjoy the cutting edge, at least until Edge started ripping into Becky. And I did enjoy the main event. Undertaker's promo was a waste of time, but it is what it is. All right, so Big G, if you're out there watching this right now, go ahead and call me on Skype, and we will get your thoughts on SmackDown 1000. A- from Colin Mack. Michael Wayne with a B. David says Edge sucks. Wow. Caitlin with a B. Woken King with a B. Nathan with a B. John with a C. Kev with a B. Degenerate Sharingam with a C+. Michael Wayne says it was a fun show for SmackDown 1000. I mean, it was fine, but yeah, I was kind of hoping for more. All right, so let's get Big G of NoDQ.com on the line right now. Big G, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Your volume is very low. Are you on speaker or something?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, your quality is really bad. I can barely hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
That is better, but hopefully we don't get any more feedback like that. So, how's it going, Big G? I mean, you were there tonight, and what was the atmosphere like? And what's your letter grade for the show, too?
Well, I mean, as obvious, it wasn't sold out. We were sitting on the hard side where the camera wasn't showing.
Wait a
and
second. Hold on. It was not sold out because WWE said, "Oh, it's a capacity crowd, 15,537."
Nah,
They even announced the number.
It was not sold out. There were seats still open where we were sitting, and on the other side there was seats still open. So,
wow, WWE lied about something. I am so disappointed.
I know, right? The atmosphere was pretty good. I mean, during when Evolution came out, they got a big pop.
Yeah.
When Edge came out, he got a big pop. Mysterio got a big pop.
So basically, all the past guys got big pops.
Yeah, I mean, well, and then Shane and Vince got their big pop, and I enjoyed the Truth TV for some reason. I just like R-Truth and Carmella being together. That's just me, though.
Right. Oh, and by the way, Darrell Lloyd left a $2.79%. Did I just say percent? What am I, Scott Steiner now? A $2.79 super chat donation. Only this show could make people boo Edge. I mean, that's a very good point. So, is it accurate to say that the fans did boo Edge a little bit when he started criticizing Becky?
They did a little bit, and then, like you said, Becky ripped into Edge, and they cheered "You deserved it" when Edge was saying something about the titles, and who else got a big pop? I'm trying to think.
How about Nakamura?
Yeah, pretty much all the past guys, and
how about Styles, Daniel Bryan? What was the reaction for those guys?
Pretty decent. I mean, during the match, it was quiet. I mean, it seemed like the Usos got booed again during the match a little bit, and I don't know. I thought that was just a weird match, just throwing that together.
Because the Usos were baby faces up until, I guess, tonight. So,
yeah.
I mean, it was pretty random.
I mean, because before the match, I don't know if you saw, but either it was Jay or Jimmy, they shook hands with Daniel Bryan before the match started. So,
all right.
That was weird.
So,
and by the way,
yeah.
I called, as soon as Big Show came out, I had called it that he was going to turn heel once again.
Right.
I didn't know how, but I just had a gut feeling.
Yeah.
Had a gut feeling. It was weird. And that the New Day table, I don't know if it's made out of foam or something like that, but
probably.
When they during the commercial break, they had literally lifted it up like it was nothing and put it next to the table. So I don't know if it was foam or plastic or something, but it didn't seem like it was real heavy because they lifted it up like it was nothing.
Wow. Well, very, very interesting. Yeah. That's why we have you on here, just to get the little details like that. All right, so what's your overall letter grade for the show? I'm guessing since you were there live, you probably enjoyed it more than some of the people on
I don't know. It went by really, really fast. It was like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, exactly.
You said you gave it, what, a solid B?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, man. I don't know. I like some things, but I don't know. I'm about to give it a C-.
Wow! Holy cow! Yeah. He was there live, folks.
Yeah.
That's harsh, man.
It just, I mean, some of the segments were good, but I think, like you said, tonight could have been 3 hours. They could have gotten rid of Mixed Match Challenge for one night and made SmackDown 1000 more important than it seemed like. And literally after Mysterio's match, Undertaker's music hit, and he got 3 minutes?
Yeah.
And he kept the same exact promo he did the night before, so it was stupid.
Yeah, everyone's saying your letter grade is really brutal, by the way.
Well, I gotta be brutal when
you gotta be brutally honest, right?
Yep, gotta be honest.
So what happened, I guess, if anybody doesn't want to be spoiled right now, maybe click off the video for a minute or silence it. I just want to know what happened on 205 Live and Mixed Match Challenge real quick.
Well, I didn't stay for Mixed Match Challenge. I wanted to get out of the building before everybody else did.
Well, that's smart, actually.
205 Live, they're smart because there was actually a crowd in there when 205 Live started. So you had the first match, you had Drew Gulak with Jack Gallagher versus Akira Tozawa and Gulak won. No, Gallagher interfered. Brian Kendrick came out and saved Tozawa, so I guess Kendrick's the face now. Then they had a fatal 5-way with Leo Rush. Leo Rush got a big pop too, by the way, because he's from Washington, D.C.
Yes.
He got a nice big pop.
Smart fans.
Who else was in there? Grand Metalik was in there. TJP, Cedric, and Tony Nese. And Tony Nese had won that match. Cedric hit the lumbar check on Leo Rush. And then, of course, Tony Nese did the fruit roll up and got the 1, 2, 3. So,
well, it sounds like it was a good match with 5. I mean, usually those multi-person matches are really good.
It was really good. Triple H, I still don't watch 205 Live, but from the looks of it, it looks like it's doing better. And them putting it before SmackDown, I think is better for them too, because you have more of an audience.
By the way, I heard because of your C- that Vince McMahon is going to personally have Freddy Krueger haunt your dreams tonight.
Well, bring it on, Freddy Krueger. I'll call Michael Myers then, because I got his.
Ooh, there you go. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe a little WrestleMania match, Freddy versus Michael.
There you go. Oh, and just before the show, there was a fan or a guy. He noticed my NoDQ.com shirt and asked me where I got the shirt, and I plugged the website and everything.
Nice.
So
nice. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate that very much.
Not a problem. Anytime.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in, Big G. You want to go ahead and plug your own page and what's going on with you and Virtue?
Yeah. So NoDQ.com/Jeff takes you to my Twitter page, Instagram. I'm on Facebook, and tomorrow night will be WWE Talk with Virtue. I think it'll be 11 o'clock. I'm not too sure. I got to talk to Virtue, and I'll post it on Facebook and Twitter to let everybody know.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate the call, Big G. And did you take any cool pictures from the show?
I did. I mean, I usually just really take when they come out with their entrances and then after the match. Because during the match, it's really kind of hard taking pictures when they're moving around and all that.
Well, that's why you need a camera that has sports mode where you can get a good shot of them in the middle of an action sequence. I actually have a digital camera like that.
Okay.
So people always ask me, how do you get such good pictures at these shows? And yeah, I just bought a digital camera that has a sports mode feature, and it allows you to be able to capture them really good quality when they're in the middle of a move and stuff like that. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're not expensive. So anyways, thank you very much for calling in, Big G, and I'll talk to you soon, maybe on the next NoDQ review when we can get back into the groove with that.
Absolutely.
All right, take care, my friend.
Take care.
All right, bye. All right, so that was Big G over at NoDQ.com/Jeff, which is GEOFF. Of course, you can also follow Jeff Meacham at NoDQ.com/Jeff, JEFF. And hopefully we'll get Jeff back on for another video soon. So on that note, I guess I will go ahead and wrap up this NoDQ Live. I hope you guys enjoyed the video despite the delay in getting things going. I will be back to business. I'm here in Portland, home, getting some stuff done. Going to get some NoDQ videos done. I'm going to get the NoDQ review up soon. So a lot of content coming up. So stay tuned. And Wrestling Trivia Challenge, the big tournament, is set to start soon. Greg Cherry has a video that I will be posting shortly with a little preview of that. We're doing this big tournament, so stay tuned. NoDQ.com for all the very latest wrestling news and rumors. And on that note, I will see you guys next time. Oh, wait! Wow, I was like 1 second from clicking off. Noah Foster with a $2 super chat donation. However, he did not leave a comment, so I have no comment. I have no topic to keep going here. So, on that note, unless Noah has a topic for me here, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, no comment. So, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. On that note, I will see you guys next time for another edition of NoDQ Video.